1,000 years ago, Persian cooks documented a technique so precise it would outlast every empire that carried it. Fry the rice, layer the meat, seal the pot. That method crossed into India through Mughal conquest, fractured into dozens of fiercely guarded regional traditions, and today dominates tables from Hyderabad to London. This is biryani's epic journey, and it starts with an ancient manuscript most of the world has never heard of. In the 10th century, within the Grand Abbasid court of Baghdad, scribe Ibn Sayyar al-Warraq compiled the Kitab al-Tabiq. This ancient manuscript preserves the earliest written blueprint of biryani's ancestor. Here, courtly culinary art was defined not by simple folklore, but by absolute scientific precision. Royal cooks parboiled high-quality rice, then fried the grains in rich clarified butter to lock in delicate flavor before layering them with seasoned meats. This sophisticated technique left a clear linguistic footprint. The Persian word birinj, meaning rice, fused with biryan, the process of frying before cooking. Long before this dish ever touched Indian soil, the concept of birinj biryan reigned supreme as a symbol of royal prestige. Unnamed merchants and traveling cooks carried this culinary formula eastward, tracing the dry overland trade routes of the Silk Road and the monsoon currents of the Indian Ocean. They carried more than commercial goods. They carried a masterclass in rice preparation that would soon redefine the food traditions of the subcontinent. In 1526, on the dusty plains of Panipat, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi, establishing the Mughal gateway into North India. This political transition transformed courtly dining into an organized, massive culinary bureaucracy. Within the shadow of the Qutub Minar and the Red Fort, royal cooks scaled up ancient rice preparation techniques using massive copper degs and heavy clay handies. By the late 16th century, Emperor Akbar's imperial record, the Ain-e-Akbari, officially listed Zir Biryani alongside precise kitchen inventories of ghee, ginger, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, peppercorns, and asafoetida. By the 17th century, Shah Jahan's court compiled the Nuskha-e-Shah Jahani, preserving these complex layered recipe traditions in exquisite detail. To trap the volatile essential oils of these aromatics, the imperial kitchen perfected sealed pot cooking, using raw dough to lock in the steam, a technique known as dum. This methodology split into two distinct technical branches: kachi, where raw marinated meat was layered with wet, par-soaked rice, and paki, which utilized pre-cooked meat. But this grand dish was not destined to remain a palace secret. Through the Sipah Abadi, the empire's military provisioning system, army cooks packed rice, ghee, and dried spices into campaign rations. Cooking in massive cauldrons over open trenches, they sustained marching soldiers with a robust version of the courtly feast, carrying the technical secrets of the imperial kitchen from the courts of Delhi directly into the battlefields of the subcontinent. As imperial central authority splintered, the royal recipe divided into three distinct sovereign legacies, each mirroring the political destiny of its new home. In the shadow of Golconda and the Charminar, the Nizams of Hyderabad forged a forceful Deccan identity. Here, the biryani became a bold, fiery statement, loaded with heavy spices, sharp aromatics, and a dense richness that matched the court's soaring regional ambitions. Farther north, amidst the grand arches of Lucknow's Bara Imambara, the Nawabs of Awadh took a different path, elevating aristocratic restraint to an art form. Their Awadhi biryani rejected aggressive heat, focusing instead on delicate floral waters, saffron-perfumed long grains, and a gentle, breath-like fragrance. But political tragedy wrote the final, most surprising chapter. When Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was exiled to Kolkata in 1856, his displaced royal cooks walked the heritage streets of Bengal with depleted treasuries. To stretch the recipe under financial exile, they introduced the humble potato. It absorbed the rich juices of the meat, creating a lighter, subtly sweet masterpiece that redefined Bengal's culinary soul. Three courts, three destinies, permanently etched into the grain of a single dish. Along the monsoon-swept Malabar coast, the dish abandoned imperial long-grain basmati, embracing the tiny, highly aromatic Jirakasala rice. Birthed from centuries of Arab trade, Thalassery and Malabar biryanis married this short grain with ghee and a moist, cardamom-scented masala. Further up the coast, Patkali biryani became a maritime classic, layering fresh fish with fiery green chilies, tamarind, and tangy kokum. As the dish moved inland, the short, sturdy Siraga Samba grain became the foundation of the southern branches. In Dindigul, this grain absorbed a sharp, pepper-forward punch cooked over smoky wood fires. In Ambur, cooks practiced relative restraint, creating a light, meat-led masterpiece with pre-cooked gravy. The Arcot style merged these agrarian rice traditions with Nawabi elegance. Down in Bangalore, Donne Biryani took on a rustic street character, defined by a vibrant green paste of mint, coriander, ginger, and garlic, served hot in traditional leaf bowls. Meanwhile, migratory movements shaped other distinct regional variations. Sindhi Biryani preserved a sweet-savory memory, adding dried plums, apricots, and fiery green chilies to long-grain basmati. In bustling Mumbai, Bombay Biryani evolved into a dense urban fusion, packing a sweet, spicy punch with fried potatoes to feed a fast-paced metropolis. Through these regional transformations, the dish stepped out of the palace gates, settling into home kitchens, roadside stalls, Sunday military hotels, and wedding celebrations. Biryani ceased to be an imperial secret, becoming instead the very pulse of everyday social life. To master this diverse culinary art, one must look inside the heavy clay pot, where the elemental alchemy of steam transforms raw ingredients into a masterpiece. The secret lies in the seal, a heavy ring of raw wheat dough or a damp linen cloth pressed tightly beneath the lid. Under slow, whispering heat, this barrier traps the volatile oils of cardamom, cinnamon, and cloves, forcing them back down into the rice. This closed system operates through two distinct technical laws: kachi and paki. In kachi, raw marinated meat releases its rich, natural moisture from the very bottom of the pot, slowly rising to steam the pre-soaked rice layered above. In paki, pre-cooked meat gravy combines with parboiled grains for a brief, high-intensity steam. The final texture hinges entirely on the choice of grain. Slender basmati expands into light, separate, needle-thin threads. In contrast, southern short grains like siraga samba or kaima offer a dense, sturdy bite, absorbing the rich fats and spiced marinades directly into their core. Golden saffron threads stain the top layers, while crisp onions caramelized in ghee yield a rich, savory crunch. Within this pressurized chamber, heat and steam forge a perfect harmony of flavor. During the late 20th century, working-class migrants and bold restaurateurs carried the secrets of biryani across oceans. In the bustling markets of London's Brick Lane, the neighborhoods of Queens, and the high-rises of Dubai, diaspora cooks fired up massive steel pots. They adapted the classic recipe for foreign tables, swapping traditional mutton for local beef in the Gulf, or crafting fresh plant-based versions for Western vegetarian palates. At packed street festivals and weekend communal feasts from Sydney to Chicago, the dish became a fragrant, edible connection to home. Its self-contained one-pot structure made it perfectly suited for export, allowing biryani to scale from a regional masterpiece into a global culinary icon. Every record, from ancient palace archives to modern Guinness World Records, demands strict verification. This history relies entirely on documented evidence, using on-screen source captions for all historical and contemporary assertions. Where historical voices are reconstructed or dramatized recreations are employed, clear on-screen labels disclose these methods instantly. No AI-generated voice or simulated expert passes without explicit disclosure. The primary evidence remains anchored in authentic archival footage, verified manuscripts, and official registries, ensuring that the grand story of biryani is told with absolute historical accuracy and complete transparency. Nidu biryani kivlan aaharan kadu men asanskir tiki shiv saksin sam rajalu antransina iisuvasan srihdolnu karipistu vishvyaptmindi ninti rajpugan nidu men gundel sipudu mi abhiman biryani idu comments lupan kukundi